And welcome back to the Upside Sports Network. As we get set for the Nets and Celtics, is the first game we saw the Miami Heat take care of the Atlanta Hawks quite handily. Not a very competitive game to watch, but the Brooklyn Nets and the Boston Celtics should be the marquee matchup of the day. Kyrie Irving, of course, the former Boston Celtic, came over in that trade from the Cleveland Cavaliers. Things just didn't work out there. Days after saying he was going to sign a long-term extension to stay in Boston. Of course, he did not. Kevin Durant and Kyrie deciding to join forces when Kevin Durant was out for the year due to injury. The reserves played a big role in getting them into the bubble and playing well in the bubble. However, after that season, they decided to make the trade for James Harden. And as you saw this season, things just didn't work out with James Harden and Kevin Durant in Brooklyn. So Brooklyn, of course, moved on from Harden, trading him to conference rival Philadelphia 76ers, back to his former general manager in Daryl Morey. In return, they got Ben Simmons, Seth Curry, Andre Drummond. So it should be a very interesting game to watch today. Let us know who you're pulling for in the comments. Kyrie, of course, had a 50-point game and a 60-point game in the month of March. Eric Adams loosened things up, allowing him to play the final 10 games or so with the club consecutively and not having to have a herky-jerky into the season, making a special exemption for athletes being able to play. Brooklyn, though, got through the play-in tournament because of their chemistry that they built over that final 10-game stretch. Kyrie was unstoppable in that play-in game. Cleveland was not able to hang, and then Cleveland lost again to Atlanta and was pushed from playoff contention. Nice year, though, for Cleveland, but it's all about Kyrie Irving here. Took out one of his former teams in the Cleveland Cavaliers in the play-in, looking to take out another one in the Boston Celtics. For the Celtics, they started the year kind of one of the middling teams in the East. Had some issues with on-the-court performance, not being able to pass the ball. In fact, Marcus Smart and Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum kind of got into it on the sidelines during a game. Ever since then, Marcus Smart has kind of taken it on himself to be the playmaker in this offense, seeing as how the other two are seen more as scorers. They still don't have a traditional point guard on this team, even with the addition of White to their lineup. Marcus Smart basically serves in that role now. But Boston certainly figured things out on the defensive end of the floor. Both Boston and Dallas were 1 and 2 for the best records in the league after the All-Star break, actually since the calendar turned to 2022. But it's got a tall task in a first-round matchup against the Brooklyn Nets, going up against Kevin Durant, quite possibly the best player on the planet right now. Kyrie Irving, best offensive player on the planet right now, and I don't think that's a question. He just does not miss. Starting lineup, Bruce Brown, Seth Curry, Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, and Andre Drummond for the Nets. Bruce Brown, of course, got things started in that plan, bringing all the energy. He kind of brought up the floor a lot in that first quarter, and then Brooklyn just kind of rolled downhill. Daniel Tice in the starting lineup, along with Marcus Smart, Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, and Al Horford. Those are your starting five for both clubs as we are about set for the tip here. Of course, the Brooklyn Nets beat the Boston Celtics last year in the postseason, 4-1, a gentleman's sweep, before losing in that second round. To the eventual champions, Milwaukee Bucks. 5-game win streak for the Nets. Celtics have won 28 of the last 35 games, as you mentioned, that hot streak since the calendar turned to 2022. Looks like we are about set. Everybody's kind of done their handshaking now. Should be a very physical series as well, as Boston tries to play tough defense against Brooklyn. Brooklyn does like to have a lot of movement in their offense with Seth Curry and Kyrie moving off of picks and that kind of a thing. Be interesting to see if we see Ben Simmons in this series, and we are underway. Brooklyn with the ball first, Drummond with it on the wing extended. Kevin Durant right above the free throw line, short. Tatum the rebound. Hands to Smart, and we are off. Jaylen Brown at the top of the key. Hands to Tatum on the wing, gives to Horford on the block extended. Horford gets it down inside to Tatum. Bryce Brown whistled for the foul there, gets a little too overzealous, trying to strip that ball from Jason Tatum, not able to get his hand out of the cookie jar fast enough before Tatum draws the foul on the shot. And to the line we go, looking for the first points in the game. Jason Tatum last year, of course, had multiple 50-point games in the postseason, or close to it anyway. Kind of solidified himself as a star in this league. Misses the first free throw, though, there. We'll see what kind of success he has this postseason. A lot of weight on his shoulders. Can they actually get through the playoffs with the way this current roster is assembled, or are they going to have to split up Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum? Management has already come out and said we're not trading either one. First bucket of the game is good. Brooklyn takes a 2-1 lead. Off the make anyway, Jaylen Brown gets ahead of the defense and makes a nice little play there for the easy two. Kyrie gets inside, defended by Horford, a little bit of a mismatch there. Seth Curry in the corner, switched onto by Horford, gets into the lane, flips down to Drummond to dunk there. Trying to get the ancillary pieces involved early. 4-3 is the score. Smart hands off to Al Horford at the top of the key. Wide open three for Horford, bottom. Great shot there. If Horford can make that shot consistently this series, this should be a very competitive series because they're going to need a third scorer. Tatum pokes it away. Horford brings it up on the fast break, fouled by Curry. 6-4 is the advantage for Boston early as Horford fires up the home crowd. Very loud there in Boston. Jaylen Brown to inbound, gets it to Smart. Smart again taking over those point guard responsibilities. Hands to Jason Tatum at the top. They flip it down to Jaylen Brown. Brown double team, but gets a good shot away. Tice unable to bring it in. And Drummond the rebound. Kyrie pushes it up the floor. One-on-one against Smart. Switched onto by Brown. Spin move against Brown. Beautiful there. Fumbled out of bounds, though, as both players go to the floor trying to keep it. And it squirts out of bounds off of Kyrie Irving. Quickly up the floor comes Marcus Smart, driving against Kyrie. Wide open shot for Jaylen Brown. No. Tipped by Drummond to Tice. Tatum drives inside, loses the ball, though, as Drummond tried to draw the offensive foul. Tice shoves Kevin Durant. They're going to say on the floor, though. 6-4. A little bit loose with the ball control on both sides right now. Seth Curry with it at the top. Trying to find Kevin Durant. Gets a pick from Drummond. Wide open shot. Buries it. Very much an offensive player. If you think Steph Curry is the best player between the two, well, he will give you a run for your money at least. Poked away by Kyrie Irving, but gets some of the arm of Marcus Smart. First foul on Kyrie Irving. He will take chances. In that play-in, we saw the entire team play great defense for the Brooklyn Nets against the Cleveland Cavaliers. They just couldn't get anything going. Brown with it against Drummond, takes a step back, fadeaway, off the iron, no good. Tice being held, unable to tip it home, fouled by Curry this time. His arguments fall on deaf ears. I understand you're the heat of the moment and everything, but I never understood why players argue the call. It's not going to be like, oh, hold on. You're right. I messed that one up. Ball is loose after the missed shot. Drummond able to dig it out. Bryce Brown brings it the other way against Horford. Drives into the lane, gives to Curry. And they're going to call an offensive foul there. Smart took a tumble out of bounds anyway. 6-6 is the score. 8:45 left in the first quarter. It's either out of bounds, he stepped out of bounds, or there's an offensive foul, one of the two. In either event, Boston ball. Two-time Defensive Player of the Year in college. And he's always been known by that defensive calling card here in the NBA. Tice short on the wide open three. Drummond the rebound again as Durant whips it over to Curry. Curry taking on Al Horford. Dishes out to Kevin Durant against Tatum. Drummond sets the pick. Stripped by Tice. Nice defense there by Boston. Tatum pushes it up to Smart. Smart a wide open three in transition and buries it. 9-6. Great defense being played on both ends of the floor. Both teams a little loose on offense so far. Also a little bit tight with their shots. All their shots seem to be coming up short. Durant drives, flips to Drummond. Tice strips it away. Drummond back up. And they're going to call a foul on Tice on the second attempt there. Thank you guys for joining us today. Should be a very competitive game, very competitive series. He did kind of have the arms leaning forward instead of straight up. You have your arms straight up, even if you're in that restricted circle. You're not going to be whistled for that foul in that position. However, when you start leaning forward and impede the shot, that will be a foul every single time. Lowest field goal percentage this year for Drummond, only 57%, which is really rare because he's more of a dunker than anything else. Has taken a lot more shots in this offense from a little bit further away from the basket as they've tried to keep the lane clear for drives to the bucket. Tice now has 2 fouls. Grant Williams has entered the game for him. Curry hits the deck. A wide open shot for Williams. No good. Durant the rebound as Tatum came in for a look. 9-8 is your score. Tatum just bear hug. Well, I'll put bear hugs. He mauls Kevin Durant at the top of the key and wonders, why was that a foul on me? Usually teams have been let to play in the first quarter. Seems like they're trying to get away with a little too much here in the early going. Kyrie, no good. Smart, good pressure. Williams, the rebound. Smart brings it up the floor. Brown tries to catch the ball inside against Curry. Too high of a pass. Lost. And another foul called on Boston, trying to strip the ball 90 feet from the bucket. Both teams still playing with all kinds of jitters, trying to get themselves set in the postseason. Curry with it against Brown. Curry looking to pass immediately, gives to Drummond, on to Durant against Williams. Williams strips it. Good defense there. Smart dishes to Williams and rewarded for that defense with an easy layup. 11-8. Quickly up the floor. Curry gives to Durant. Durant drives against Williams. Good as he pushes off with that shoulder just a little bit, creating that space. You get into the body of the defender. That's just how they teach you. Just don't extend that arm. Otherwise, you get called for that offensive foul. Very nice job by one of the best offensive players in NBA history. Kyrie again pokes in at Horford. Tatum with it, leans in against Drummond, gets whistled for the foul, and Tatum will go to the line. 11-10 is our score. Very competitive game. 6:25 left here in the first quarter as we go to the first timeout break. It's on ABC, so you can pretty much watch it anywhere on antenna. It's pretty much everywhere right now. If you have Hulu, I'm sure it's on ESPN Plus. But if you want to tune into the game, turn down the sound, stay tuned into us, join the watch party. Which team you rooting for? But it is on ABC. The other 3 games will be on TNT today, for those of you who are curious. But to answer your question, this game is free on ABC. Kind of a loose start for both offenses. Defense for both teams is very active again. A lot of reaching, though. A lot of early whistles. Tice already with a quick 2. Tatum with 1. Kyrie with 1. Curry with 1. Brown with 1. Should be a very fascinating 7-game series. I'm predicting this one does go the distance of 7 games. Although I think the talent of Brooklyn is just a little bit too much. They honestly should not be a 7 seed with how good they are. But they did not play well early on in the season, had their issues staying healthy as well. The better team is probably Boston. The better players are obviously with the Brooklyn Nets. Kevin Durant, the best player in the series. Size will be the issue for Boston. I thought maybe they should have gone out and traded one of Tatum or Brown at some point before this season started anyway. I just am not sure about how their team is built. They went after Dennis Schroeder and ended up flipping him and got White to play that guard position for them. They still don't have a true point guard on this team. They like to leave the ball in their wings and see how they go. Play a lot of ISO basketball. Ball movement is not something they are particularly great at. Coming back out of commercial break anyway. Tatum goes to the charity stripe. Bounces around and down. Again, they're talking about that turnaround Boston had midway through the season. Best offensive and defensive efficiency in the league since mid-January. Tatum strips it away from Bryce Brown, flips it up to Horford for the alley-oop dunk, all over Bruce Brown. Five turnovers already for Brooklyn as they give the ball to Kyrie to kind of get this offense going in the right direction. Drummond sets the pick, double team on Irving, backs away, foul on Marcus Smart. Kyrie goes to the line. Both teams are going to have to start watching how often they're fouling in this game. being very liberal with how greedy they're getting going after these steals and blocked shots. The first shot for Kyrie is good. 15-11, 5:51 left. White has entered the game for Tatum. Grant Williams inbounds to Smart after Irving sinks the second one. Williams reach in by Kevin Durant. Again, these teams are just losing their minds on the defensive end of the floor. Not a smart play by Kevin Durant, fouling on that dribble handoff. And it will let Boston go to the line again. Neither team playing well with their fouls, just reaching all over the place, hoping and praying for steals. Grant Williams, a much improved player this year, very short on that first free throw, hitting 41% from three this year. In the second game of our quadruple header, first one was a blowout. Miami taking care of business against Atlanta. Got the Nets and Celtics now, followed by the Bulls and Bucks. And our nightcap is the Pelicans and Suns, the number one seed in the West. Again, more reaching all over the place. No foul called that time. White gives it up to Williams, lays it up and in. No foul called there as he barks all over the court on the way back. Seven points off turnover so far for Boston, 2 for Brooklyn. Williams all over Kevin Durant trying to deny the pass. Shoves Kevin Durant, no foul called. KD backs away, now goes for the lane. Stripped again. Marcus Smart this time leads the break. Down Broadway, Horford underneath the bucket. Blocked by Kevin Durant. Good defense there. Kyrie leads the way. Gets down into the lane. Grant Williams all over him as he flips it out to the outside. A prayer pass more than anything else. Almost goes out of bounds, but Durant saves it. Seth Curry ducks a clothesline from White. Durant flips to him, gives to Kyrie a wide open three. No. Kyrie flips it in. Drummond gets it. Durant flips to Brown. In the lane to Drummond. Layup is good. Looks like the referees have finally said, all right, we're done blowing the whistle. Let's let him play a little bit now. 6 points so far for Drummond, 2 of 2 from the floor with a couple of rebounds so far. Forearm shiver in the back of White by Curry. Horford from the outside buries the triple. 21-14. This is NBA basketball, postseason playoff basketball. It's going to be a lot more physical than anything in the regular season. Jab step by Curry, wide open three on the step back, and nails it. 21-17 as he responds to the three by Horford. Tatum looking on as he gets some rest on the bench. Curry has 7 in the game now. No good there on the three by White on a wide open look given to him by Horford. Durant just drifts into the three-point line. No good. Durant late getting back, and Williams is open for three in transition. No good. Horford, though, barrels over Kyrie Irving, trying to get down there for the rebound. Is unsuccessful, and yet another foul. Kyrie will go to the line with both teams over the limit now. And as I mentioned, you think Steph Curry's the best Curry brother? Seth will let you know that competition might be closer than you think. Both players are impeccable shooters. Curry, of course, the best three-point shooter in NBA history at this point. Steph Curry, that is. Seth started his career with a struggling Sacramento Kings team, bounced around the league a little bit with Dallas to Portland, back to Dallas, traded to Philadelphia, and then was part of that James Harden deal to Brooklyn, but he's always been a fantastic shooter. 3 of 3 from the floor so far. Can't say enough about how good of a player Seth Curry has become. Patty Mills enters the game for him as Kyrie gathers his thoughts and holds the ball for what appears like 5 seconds. Finally gets the free throw up and down. Back to a 2-point game. And White will bring it up. Kyrie 0 of 2 from the floor, but does have 4 points. Claxton has entered the game as well for Drummond. Bryce Brown all over that pass. That wasn't even close. Down the lane, Claxton pushed in the back anyway, but still gets it to go. Tie ball game, 21 all. Smart gives to Horford at the top. Hands to Jaylen Brown. Rips through Bruce Brown anyway. Gives to Horford. Plays a 2-man game there with White. Tries to get the runner to go. No good. Horford no on the first attempt. Good on the second, but they're going to call a foul on the rebound, though. So basket will not count. And we have a timeout on the floor. Very competitive series. A lot of fouls in the early going. Refs literally swallowing their whistle the last 3 minutes of the game. Seeing more wrestling maneuvers out there than anything else. Seth Curry involved in some of that. Durant involved in a little bit of that. Grant Williams, Marcus Smart, all getting in their shots. But we are tied 21 all. A little bit of news out of the NBA today is that Luka Doncic is unexpected to go in Game 2 of their series tomorrow against the Utah Jazz. So if you're a Dallas Mavericks fan, you're going to have to rely on Jalen Brunson and Spencer Dinwiddie to lead your team again. Dorian Finney-Smith played very well in that first game, but just was not enough to overcome the Utah Jazz. Great third quarter by Donovan Mitchell led to their 99-93 win in Game 1. In the first game of the day today, we saw Miami completely dominate the Atlanta Hawks, was not even competitive at any point in that game. Trae Young unable to reach double figures. I think he finished 1 of 12 from the floor. This series should be a lot more competitive than that one. Miami very thankful that they don't have to play Brooklyn in round 1. So far, your leading scorers in the game: Seth Curry for the Brooklyn Nets. Al Horford has 8 for the Boston Celtics. Foul trouble, though, for both teams. A number of players have at least 1 foul. Tice already has 2 for Boston. Seth Curry has 2, and Bruce Brown has 2 for the Brooklyn Nets. But as we mentioned, they're finally starting to let them play just a little bit. So they're getting away with a lot more of those reach-ins, tipped passes, those kinds of things right now. Let us know in the comment section how many games you think this series goes. You think it's a 5-game series, gentleman's sweep? Who are you pulling for? Do you think Brooklyn is way too low of a seed and should be ranked much higher? Do you believe in the Boston Celtics defense? Looks like we're about to come out of commercial break here. Game 1 in Boston. Boston Marathon tomorrow. It means a lot to not just Boston nowadays, but to the nation that event goes off very well. Boston Red Sox play at the conclusion of that, and today the Celtics try to get off on the right foot, setting the note for the city going into the marathon tomorrow. Jaylen Brown hits the bench. Tatum is back in. Horford hits the first free throw, up to 9 points now for Al Horford. Jaylen Brown this year, 23.5 points a game, 47% from the field, 36 from three. Has really turned into a very nice player for Boston after being the number 3 pick in the draft years ago. Goran Dragic has entered the game for the Brooklyn Nets. Taking over for Kyrie Irving. Another foul call, this one on Williams as he tries to stick with Durant through the pick. Unable to do so without getting yet another foul. Kevin Durant will go to the line. Neither team appears to be learning from their mistakes. Peyton Pritchard is about to enter the game. Boston's got a lot of production out of their bench this year. Has relied on an 8-man rotation as the season wound down, though. Trying to get the most out of a couple of players, trying to get a little bit more out of their new acquisitions, Daniel Tice and White, their point guard. Pritchard brings it up. Tatum shoves Claxton a little bit here and there. White with it, the pick by Horford, the pick by Tatum, gets to the rim. Claxton blocks the shot, and back the other way come the Nets. Dragic down the lane. Backs out to the three-point line, picked up by Horford, over to Durant. Pick set by Mills, double team. Mills into the corner for Dragic, drives, falls to the floor, Claxton with it. Another pass here. Dragic finally gets an open shot and buries it. After having a start to the year that he did not want, he wanted to be on the Dallas Mavericks, but that didn't happen. He ended up being traded to the San Antonio Spurs in that trade. In that multi-team trade with Thaddeus Young and White involved. He ended up getting a buyout from the San Antonio Spurs and signed a rest of season contract with the Brooklyn Nets. 7 turnovers now already for Brooklyn, 4 for Boston. Both teams shooting themselves in the foot repeatedly, both with fouls and turnovers. Dragic open from 3 on the assist from Durant, no good. Claxton tips the rebound, but no. Horford brings it in, and Pritchard brings it up the floor. Over to Horford. Tatum with it on the wing extended. Jab step, flips it all the way across the floor to Williams, who drives immediately and gets the easy dunk as he goes right around Patty Mills. Patty Mills wanted no part of Grant Williams there. Goran Dragic drives inside on Horford, flips the corner to Mills, gets the ball back, gives to Durant. Durant rises over Williams, off the back iron, no good. Horford leads the fast break the other way, flips it back outside into the corner for White, and bottom. .43 seconds left in the quarter, 28-25. Both teams' defenses very active with the hands, trying to reach in, tip passes. Claxton tries to get that one on a loose ball, but we're going to have a foul here on the floor. Foul is called on, not sure yet. If it's Horford, it's his second. If it's Williams, it's his second. Both teams very liberal with fouling the other team right now. Daniel Tice, who already has 2 fouls, is set to check in. Looks like both teams are going to have to go to their benches a little bit more than they would have liked due to foul trouble issues if this trend continues. Tice in, Horford out. 32 seconds left as Claxton misses that first free throw. And the shot is good. Splits a pair there. LaMarcus Aldridge is on the end of the bench for the Nets as they show him there. If they can get something out of him this series, maybe they take advantage of his size against Boston. Tatum with it at the top, flips to the corner for Tice. They're going to call a foul, though, for a reach in, and he'll go to the line. Sheesh. Both teams are just fouling left and right. It's been an ugly first quarter from that perspective. Both coaches are going to be furious with their teams on that end of the floor. Tatum with 3 points so far in the game, 4 assists, been more of a distributor so far in the game. First shot, no good off the back iron. Very long on that one. Looks like they're going to empty out the bench, at least Boston is, so that they don't get their main guys in even more foul trouble in the final few seconds of the quarter. The second is right down the well. Tatum now has 4. Double covered is Durant. They get it into Curry. Hands to Durant. What the crap are they doing? Grant Williams just barrels into Seth Curry and says, "What? Did I do something?" Curry, a fantastic free throw shooter. Going to go to the line here. Got a shoulder shiver from Williams there. I mean, that wasn't even close. Grant Williams picks up the personal foul. And again, both coaches need to grab a hold of their players and say, "Get a grip." Curry buries the free throw there. Offense for defense substitutions. Claxton back in, Kyrie back to the bench. Durant, I believe, just went to the bench as well. Bruce Brown, who already has 2 fouls, is back into the game. Makes me wonder why they brought him in, especially when you're worried about foul trouble issues. Ben Simmons not in uniform today. Second free throw is good, 29-28. 21 seconds left here in the quarter. As Jaylen Brown brings it up and hands to White at the top. Looking to get the ball to Tatum. With 8 seconds to go, the pick set. Tatum still can't get the ball. Great ball denial by Curry. White drives inside, flips it outside to Brown on the outside, shoots the 3, around and out. And Boston takes a 1-point lead into the second quarter. Very entertaining first quarter, but both teams need to stop fouling. I'm just curious how many fouls were called on both teams in that opening quarter. It was a lot. Nets were whistled for 9 fouls. The Boston Celtics were whistled for 9 fouls as well. Just an ugly quarter. And we still got a update coming anyway on this page, so maybe 10 fouls after that foul on Grant. Tice, Horford, and Williams all with 2 fouls each for the Boston Celtics. For the Brooklyn Nets, Bruce Brown, Seth Curry with 2 fouls each. Very entertaining game here on a Sunday afternoon. Let us know who you think is going to win this series. Very competitive in the first quarter here. But if this is any indication of how things are going to go, only a 1-point lead for Boston should be highly competitive throughout. Looks like we're coming back for the second quarter. 5 steals in the quarter by Boston is the most in a quarter this season. Very active with their hands, but that also led to a lot of foul calls. 3 players in their top 8 already whistled for 2 fouls. Very competitive, though, on the defensive end. Every single player was involved in that. Kyrie 0 of 2 so far from the floor, 4 points. Kevin Durant 1 of 6 with 4 points. Durant played almost the entire first quarter there. Another year healthy for Kevin Durant. That'll certainly help his chances of going further as he's a little bit more comfortable on the court this year. You saw this in the past couple of weeks. He congratulated Dwight Powell, who also recovered from a similar injury this past off season and got through his first year after that injury. You hear a lot about Kevin Durant negatively and how he uses social media. Not a lot about the positives. That would be one of them. And we're back underway. Turnovers and fouls are going to be the talking points for both coaches in the half or in that timeout. White misses the open 3, and Brooklyn advances, looking to take the lead. Kyrie with it against White, crosses him up, goes inside, backs away, open shot, but another foul called on White as he tried to stay in front of Kyrie, shoved him. They're not going to call it on the act of shooting as it was on the floor. And the whistles continue. 18 combined fouls in the first quarter, most in any first quarter this season in any game. Kyrie gets a nice pick but misses the shot. Pritchard the rebound and gives to Tatum. Tatum, though, loses the ball, saves it just before it goes out of bounds and regains his dribble. Wide open from 3. Curry tried to get there in time. Claxton with the rebound. Dragic brings it up. Dragic with the pick from Claxton. Spun around by Tatum. Curry with it against White. Pritchard now switches on to him. Step back 3 again. No good. Tatum whips it up ahead to Pritchard. Open for 3. Bottom. Nice shot there by Pritchard. Both teams playing very loose right now, though. Neither one of them really securing the ball the way the coaches would have liked. Dragic drives into the lane, gets a nice, easy layup. 32-30 is our score. Tatum with it on the wing. Drives against Claxton, inside, up, and down. Nice layup there by Tatum. Both teams trading layups there. Irving with Tatum on the coverage. Claxton the pick. Wide open 3 for Kyrie. And he gets his first shot of the day to go down. 1-point game. 10 minutes left here in the second quarter of Game 1 of the NBA playoffs. Boston the 2 seed. Brooklyn the 7 seed. Tatum with it against Claxton again. Switch with Brown on him. Another layup for Tatum, but rolls off the rim. Tice unable to get the easy bunny to go. Oh, another foul on Tatum as he completely clotheslines Kyrie Irving. I mentioned that there were wrestling moves at the middle junction of that first quarter. Well, there's another clothesline. Sheesh. 2 fouls now on Tatum. He's the 4th Celtic with at least 2 fouls in the game. Tice switched on to Kyrie. Into the corner for Curry. No good. Tice goes for the rebound. Saves it into into White. White brings it up the floor. Trying to get the ball down low to Williams. Double team there by 2 smaller guards. Gets it outside to White. Drives. Layup. Bryce Brown tried to get there in time. Honestly, could have been whistled for his third foul there, but was not. Layup was good. Kyrie against Tice shoots the three in transition and nails it, and we're tied 36 all. Kevin Durant goes to the scorer's table. Jaylen Brown also goes to the scorer's table. Very good game so far. Pritchard with it. Takes the pick from Tatum, switched on to Claxton. Curry now on Tatum. Double comes. Tice gathers the ball. Layup is good this time as Brooklyn avoids getting the foul called on him again. Kyrie switched on to Tice again. Crosses him up, shoots the three. Knocked to the floor, fouled on a three-point shot, and that's the third foul on Tice. I'm not sure if Kyrie landed before the contact from Tice, but either way, you got to give him room to land. If he did land before the contact, maybe Boston challenges this, but I think he still gets a little too close. Yep, he makes contact before he actually touches down. That's a foul, and Tice now has 3. Tice, of course, signed that big free agent contract, 4 years, $36 million with the Houston Rockets. As Boston tried to spread around the money a little bit, sending Dennis Schroeder the other way. Schroeder did not play well with Boston, so they wanted to make some moves, bring in some guys they were familiar with in Tice. Smart, Horford, and Brown all come back. Pritchard out. Tice with 3 also comes out. Horford the easy 2 inside. Boston regains a 1-point advantage, 40-39. 8 minutes left here in the second quarter. Kyrie again trying to drive, cut off, flips inside to Drummond. However, as a big man, you never want to bring that ball down. Hacked at a couple of different times by White. No foul was called. Kyrie tries to go for the steal on Horford. They finally get the loose ball. Kyrie brings it the other way, poked away. Hey, just more helter-skelter basketball. Drummond with the layup, though, to kind of end that possession. And Brooklyn back in front by 1. Jaylen Brown, head of steam, goes inside, flips it out to Kyrie. And they're going to call another foul here. Could have been an offensive foul as Kyrie tried to get around White and was unable to get around him without drawing contact. However, the foul goes on White. That's at least his second now. Derek White coming over from the San Antonio Spurs in a midseason trade. 3 fouls on Tice. 2 on Horford and Tatum. 2 on Williams and White. Boston being very liberal with how they're reaching in on these plays. Boston, though, able to get a stop. Tatum flips it to White. And Drummond tried to cut off Marcus Smart, but unable to do so without fouling. And yet another whistle. And we go to commercial break. Hey. If you're one of those fans that complains about whistles not being around in the playoffs, this is the game for you. They're literally calling everything, and honestly, it's whistles that need to be called. But still, both teams need to tone that down, stop reaching so much. Pretty soon we'll be down to the 12th man on the bench having to play minutes in the fourth quarter due to foul issues. That does not equal good basketball. And no, I don't think the referees are to blame here either for this many whistles. It's blatantly obvious that they've tried to let him play at multiple points in this game, and it's just constant reaching, constant whacking on the arm, shoving. We've seen at least 2 clotheslines in this game. Neither one was reviewed for a possible flagrant. Forearm shiver in the back. Also could have been whistled for a flagrant, but wasn't. But it's the playoffs. Tough contact is expected, but this is a little bit excessive even for NBA playoffs. The Miami Heat are a much tougher team than Boston, in my opinion, and they weren't even this hard on the contact they were making, and they were still able to win by 30 over the Hawks. Looks like we're about to come out of commercial break here any moment now. Brooklyn on top, 41-40 over Boston. Boston with a number of players with at least 2 fouls. Brooklyn as well has at least 2 fouls now. Tice is the only one with 3 so far. But both teams have very excessively gone and tried to reach in on every single ball. Playing tough defense on Kevin Durant, though. Brooklyn still with a 1-point advantage, even with Durant not able to get stuff done yet. As they show just how much attention Durant is drawing. If you're joining us for the first time, we appreciate you joining us here at the Upside. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Kyrie Irving already with 13 points against his former team. Durant, 1 of 7 from the floor. Only 4 so far. You know he's going to get it going at some point in this game. That's not a worry at all. And to have a 1-point lead without Kevin Durant really getting going yet, that should scare the dickens out of the Boston Celtics. Kyrie takes on Marcus Smart at the top, loses the ball, and Drummond tries to pitch it ahead to Bruce Brown anyway, unable to complete that pass. Layup, though, for Horford. Instead, he decides to hammer it home, make sure that ball gets down, and another lead change, 42-41. Tatum with another assist, up to 7 now. Drummond with it. At the top, defended by Horford. Hand off to Curry. Flips over to Bruce Brown, who nails the wide open 3. 44-42, 6 minutes left in the second quarter. Jason Tatum. Oh, my goodness. Kevin Durant just absolutely barrels over Marcus Smart and goes, "That was a foul on me?" It's like the 3rd time in this game we've seen somebody completely obliterate the screener and go, "What?" I mean, he tries to wrap his arm around him and hook him, but I mean, sorry, you can't do that either. Even if what you were saying is true, he just completely took that right in the chest. Jaylen Brown able to get the tough one to go, create some room on the spin, and we're tied all up 44. Brooklyn is now in the bonus. Boston should be soon. Tough shot there by Durant. Gets it to go and a foul. 46-44 as Durant will go to the line for the three-point play. Smart whistled for the foul. Got him on the arm after the shot was released. Not a smart play by Marcus Smart. Honestly, could have been gone on Horford or Smart. If that had been Horford, that would have been 3 on him. And the shot is good by Durant. 3-point advantage now for Brooklyn as Tatum brings it up. Hands to Jaylen Brown, and away we go. 5 points, 7 points now for Durant. Jaylen Brown unable to get that one to go. Another foul called as he got easily to the rim. Brown has been able to get to the rim whenever he's driven the ball. Very good job by him, recognizing what the defense is giving him. Looks like they're rotating a little bit harder towards Tatum's side of the floor. So Jaylen Brown is able to knife his way into the lane whenever he wants to. Brown barely draws iron on that free throw. Misses badly. Brown barely draws iron again. Drummond the rebound, and Dragic brings it up the floor. 5:17 left in the second quarter. Curry with it against White. Horford on the switch. Curry backs it out and tries to take on the bigger defender. They give the ball to Durant. Sets the pick by Curry. Curry gets the ball from Durant. Jaylen Brown goes flying by. Curry one dribble. Pops. No good. What the heck are these players doing? Drummond with a inexplicable foul. Just flares his arms out and gets another whistle. And Derek White draws the foul there. Kind of a flop to the ground after he committed the foul by Drummond. Try to sell the fact that, what are you talking about? Marcus Smart was kind of holding him behind, but still. 4 fouls now for Andre Drummond, though. Nick Claxton enters. Both teams are in the bonus again, barely over the midway part of the second quarter. Tatum double team, backs away. Durant trying to stay with him. Layup, no good, layup is good after he finds a little bit of space. Dragic tosses it over to Durant. Tatum one-on-one. Switch. Claxton. Offensive foul. Marcus Smart right in the way of Nicholas Claxton. This is unbelievable how many fouls are being whistled in this game. I mean, Marcus Smart just read where that play was going to go and was right there. He didn't really give him a chance to catch the pass, though, which in the open court I think is the only requirement. Since we're down on the other end of the floor, I don't think that's a requirement down here, as that was in the lane. Smart, picked by Tatum, goes around Dragic. Claxton influences that shot, gets the rebound. Patty Mills gives up to Durant. Durant, spin move, loses the ball. Jaylen Brown grabs it, pushes the ball back up the floor. Tatum, with an open three, turns it down, drives, kicks out to Brown. Brown against Claxton, to Horford, to White, to Smart, down low against Durant is Tatum. One shoulder turn, buries the shot as he rolls into the corner trying to get the foul call. And Boston is back in front by 1. Dragic gets it from Kyrie. Claxton sets the pick. Dragic has Horford on him. Free throw line fadeaway, buries it. Back and forth we go. This is a very good game. If you have a chance to watch while you listen to us anyway. It's very good so far. Goran Dragic in 9 minutes has 6 points, 3 of 4 from the floor. The team looks a lot more under control when he's on the floor anyway. Tatum with Claxton on him, buries the 3 right in his grill, and another lead change, 51-49. Durant brings it up, goes right around Tatum to the rack. No foul on Smart as he went straight up. Jaylen Brown attacking Kyrie Irving. No foul as he makes the layup. Flips it ahead to Goran Dragic to kind of get going in transition. Jaylen Brown What are they doing? Marcus Smart with inexplicable. Wow. They're saying they're granting the timeout before the foul. I mean, he was trying to strip the ball away before the timeout was going to be called. He anticipated it. Robert Kraft, the Patriots owner, in attendance in Boston, of course, cheering for the Celtics today. But that easily could have been another foul on Marcus Smart. And both teams just not playing smart right now. 53-49, 2:51 left in the second quarter. Four fouls on Drummond, 2 on Durant, Brown, Curry. That's your foul issues for the Brooklyn Nets. For the Boston Celtics, 3 on Tice, 2 on Tatum, Horford, Smart, Williams, and White. No, I did not just name their entire roster, but close. Kind of funny, honestly, the way this game has gone. Derek White playing a lot of minutes because of the foul issues to Tice. Horford's been a nice piece for Boston this game, has 14 points. Tatum with 13. Williams with 7 off the bench. For Brooklyn, leading scorer Kyrie Irving at 13. Curry has 9. Durant 7. And off the bench anyway, Goran Dragic with 6. Aldridge and Griffin have not played in this game. For those of you who are familiar with their former All-Star players that they have on the end of their bench. I really don't know what either team is doing from a defensive standpoint. I get you want to play with intensity, but neither team has played well. They're both reaching, both fouling. And it's not even like, ticky-tack fouls or maybe borderline. It's, hey, we went to the WWE and trained for a month, and now we're throwing clotheslines and haymakers and forearm shivers to the back type of fouls. But thank you for joining us on your Easter. If you're working today, hopefully this gives you a little bit of relaxation if you're unable to watch the game. As we wait for the commercial break to end here. A little bit of baseball going on today. Afternoon baseball, Marlins all over the Phillies, 10-2 now. Pirates now in front of the Nationals, 5-3. Blue Jays in a close one over the A's right now in the top of the ninth, 4-3. White Sox have scored a couple to make it a little bit closer. It's now 4-2 in the top of the seventh. Cubs 5, Rockies nothing so far. Mariners with an early 1-0 lead over the Astros. Dodgers just getting underway against the Reds, 0-0 in the top of the third. Brewers in the bottom of the sixth, 4-3 over the Cardinals. Diamondbacks now behind the Mets, 5-0 in the top of the ninth. As it looks like we're back from commercial break. 55-49 now after Boston gets a bucket to start after the timeout. Dragic flips it inside. Claxton unable to get the dunk to go. Dragic with an open shot, knocks it down. He's got 8 so far in the game. Very nice addition to the Brooklyn Nets team. Patty Mills has come in as well. Smart hands off to Brown. Oh! That could have gone either way as Patty Mills tried to cut off the drive by Jaylen Brown. Instead gets whistled for the blocking foul, and Brown will go to the line and shoot a couple. Tatum has 15 in the game now, as he's starting to get a little hot, letting the crowd know he's feeling a hot hand. Brown gets the first one to go, 56-51. Neither team has really led or trailed by a whole lot in this game. Second free throw is good. In fact, I think this might be the biggest lead of the game right now for either team. Dragic trying to get the ball to Durant. Claxton left all alone inside. White unable to get there and stop it in time. And the dunk goes down, 57-53. Brown waiting. Kyrie on the coverage. Claxton picks him up, pitches to the corner for White, to the other corner for Smart, and Dragic the rebound. Pushes up the floor, challenging Jaylen Brown, right at him. Layup, good. And the foul. Dragic, emotional after that one, gets that one to go. Again, I don't understand what these teams are doing. You're the bigger defender. Instead, he hits him on both forearms and still lets him get up a good shot. It gets to go down, and he's whistled for the foul. I don't know what Jaylen Brown was doing on that one. Either you stand your ground and stop the drive right where it is, or you let him go around you and challenge the shot. He chose neither. Instead, gives up a three-point play, and it's back to a one-possession game. 1 minute left in the second quarter, 57-56. About 1.5 billion foul calls been called so far in this game. Every single player, it seems like, has entered the game for Boston and has at least 2 fouls. Tatum tries to sell a foul call on Durant as he dives into the stands after missing that 3. Kyrie goes into the lane, challenging Horford. Bucket is good, and we have another lead change. 58-57, Brooklyn in front. As Smart tries to press the issue. Block shot by Claxton, picked up again by Smart, though. Flips it up again, and another lead change. 35 seconds left as they go for a 2-for-1. Kyrie splits the defense, flips it to the corner for Patty Mills, buries it, and another lead change. I can't tell you how many times I've said that today so far. 26 seconds left in the first half here. Marcus Smart slowly dribbles the ball up the floor, determined to give as little time as possible to Brooklyn on their next possession. Kyrie now has 15 in the game. Patty Mills guarding Marcus Smart at the top. Tatum sets the pick, goes around. Tatum inside, pitches out to Horford, gives to Jaylen Brown. An air ball on the 3. Layup, though, for Marcus Smart, who's sitting underneath the basket, is good. Patty Mills gets it, turns it over to Derek White, flips it up to Marcus Smart, heaves it at the horn, well short. And we're tied 61-61 going into the half. Very entertaining, very good game, but not played very well on the defensive end of the floor. A lot of foul calls. You gotta wonder when these teams are going to wake up and start actually playing defense and not let me play with my hands instead of my feet. You need to use your feet and get in front of your man and stay in front of him. Instead, they're using their hands to try to keep in front of him. They're getting whistled for all kinds of fouls. As I mentioned, we've already seen 2 clotheslines in the game, forearm shiver, a couple of absolute tackles that the NFL would be proud of. But it's playoff basketball, as you say. But even for playoff basketball, this has been a horse of a different color of a game so far. Give me 7 games of this series, even with the poor play on the defensive end. Yes, please. And as I mentioned, 61 all as we go into half. First game of the day, of course, was the Miami Heat trouncing the Atlanta Hawks. Hawks never really had any advantage at any point in the game. Trae Young was an absolute eyesore in the game. Didn't play in the fourth quarter. The game was just put away early by the Heat. They led by almost 20 at the half, and they never really looked back at any point. Yesterday, we saw the opening round action begin with the Dallas Mavericks taking on the Utah Jazz. Of course, they're playing without Luka Doncic, who did have a left calf strain. Had their chance to win the game, though. Refs called a bunch of fouls in the fourth quarter that gave them a chance, but of all the missed free throws, they just weren't able to capitalize. And Utah took game one in Dallas and takes back home court advantage. Dallas will be without Luka Doncic. That was announced a little bit ago that he will not play in game two. Dallas needs to win on their home court in order to at least extend the series should they not be able to get a victory in Utah. Minnesota, of course, won in Memphis. That game, kind of a carryover of the emotion from the play-in tournament. If you watch the play-in game where Minnesota won, Patrick Beverley went onto the scorer's table after the victory, acting like he won the NBA Finals, not once, but twice, threw his jersey into the crowd and was fined for $30,000 after the game by the NBA for excessive use of foul language. The NBA basically said he invented words that they never knew even existed beforehand. Never seen levels of profane language as much as that was used after that game. But they are a very emotional team, very young team. Karl Anthony Towns was a 0 in the play-in tournament, but played very well in game one against the Memphis Grizzlies. Ja Morant did not score after about the midpoint of the second quarter until the very final minutes of the fourth quarter. They held him in check. Great job by Minnesota getting the game one victory. So both road teams had won so far. First home victory of the postseason came with the Philadelphia 76ers rolling over the Toronto Raptors. I don't expect that to be a long series. They don't have a Kawhi Leonard on their team, and Scotty Barnes was hurt at the end of the game. We'll see what kind of shape he is in going forward. But Philadelphia got the 131 to 111 victory. And then in the final game of the night, Golden State won against Denver, 123 to 107. Game was never really in doubt either there. Denver started out well, had a 1-point lead at the end of the first quarter, but it was all Golden State after that. And that's kind of where we sit now in the NBA playoffs. Checking in on some of the scores that have already happened around Major League Baseball. We already mentioned the Royals and Tigers was postponed due to rain, but the Giants do get the victory in Cleveland, 8-1 over the Guardians. Alex Wood getting his first victory of the season. Savali struggling in his start. Mets beat the Diamondbacks 5-0. Red Sox 8, Twins 1. They scored 6 runs in the 8th inning to make that score a little bit more lopsided than what the game really was. Blue Jays able to hold off the A's. A's are now 5-5 on the season. Blue Jays 6-4. Yankees lose against the Orioles today, 5-0 after a great game today by Lopez. Sunday Night Baseball features the Atlanta Braves versus the San Diego Padres. Mariners have a 1-0 lead right now in the bottom of the second against the Stros. Bottom of the third now, Dodgers versus Reds. Trade candidate Tyler Mahle is on the hill for the Reds after Hunter Green pitched last night. Great start for him if you enjoy very fast fastballs. It was 39 over 100 miles an hour last night for Hunter Green. MLB record. Chicago Cubs on top of the Rockies, 5-0. Angels have taken a 6-3 lead over the Rangers. Jimmy Herget is now pitching for the Angels against his former team. Brewers on top of the Cardinals at the moment, 4-3 in the bottom of the seventh. Rays still on top, 4-2 over the White Sox. Marlins 10-3 over the Phillies. And Pirates 5-3 over the Nationals. But again, our score here is 61 all here at the half. Just to kind of run down things, Andre Drummond now has 4 fouls. He probably won't play in the third quarter due to those 4 fouls. Nicholas Claxton has played well in his stead. He probably gets a lot of run there. They probably play a little bit of small ball as well. 2 fouls on Durant, Brown, Curry, and Patty Mills for the Nets. Not too much foul trouble there now that the second quarter is over. 15 points to lead scorers for the Brooklyn Nets. 9 for Curry, 7 for Durant, 8 for Drummond, and 11 off the bench for Goran Dragic. They've been whistled for 15 fouls so far in the game. Boston, on the other hand, only has Daniel Tice with 3. And then they have Tatum, Horford, Smart, Brown, Williams, and White, all with 2 fouls each. They've stuck with that 8-man rotation so far. Aaron Nesmith has fallen out of the rotation as the season went along. Nick Stauskas, who scored a 50-point game in the G League earlier this season, is on their bench should they need some scoring down the stretch. Leading scorer for Boston is Jason Tatum with 15. Horford has contributed 14. 8 for Brown, 7 for Smart, and Grant Williams off the bench has 7. But they're definitely playing through their 2 wing players, Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. Marcus Smart has kind of taken over those point guard duties for Boston. They haven't really let him run the offense too much. Kind of going through their horses today. Looks like Tatum was starting to feel it at the end of that second quarter, so we'll see if he takes over more of this game as it goes along. Durant's had a lot of struggles in this game, but they're still tied at the half. 2 of 10 from the floor, 4 turnovers. With Tatum doing his thing on the other side, you expect Durant to come out and say, I'm the better player of the 2. But so far, a nice game for Jason Tatum. Both coaches, though, need to get both of their teams under control on the defensive end of the floor. Stop fouling. Jason Tatum is basically the engine of that Boston offense. He had 7 assists, 15 points. Just waiting for the second half to get underway. Got a few more minutes before teams come out of the locker rooms here in a minute. Again, the story of the game so far has been the fouls for both teams. That and their ability to play through contact and still manage to score 61 apiece tells you how good these two teams are offensively. Boston's defense unable to really slow things down so far for Brooklyn, even with the turnovers that they've been able to get. Second half should get underway here shortly. Thank you guys for joining us today. And looks like finally the half might be over. Possibly, maybe. 61 all here in Boston, game one of the first round. Let us know who you're rooting for. Do you think Boston pulls it out? Do you think Brooklyn goes from a 7 seed and wins and takes out the Boston Celtics, who've been the best team since mid-January, especially in the East? Andre Drummond already has 4 fouls in the game. Tice with 3 for Boston, and pretty much the rest of their roster has 2. The only one who doesn't for Boston is Peyton Pritchard, who's only played 6 minutes. And here we go. 15 fouls whistled on each team in the first half. 12 turnovers for Brooklyn. 32 points in the paint for Boston. 8 ties and 17 lead changes. Biggest lead in the game was 6 points for Boston. That was quickly nullified by the Brooklyn Nets. Jaylen Brown attempts the 3 but decides to pass midair to Tice, to Horford. Horford down low against Curry, gets it to go. He now has 16 points in the game. Bryce Brown hands to Durant. Durant on the drive, gets inside, flips a tough shot up, no good. Tatum the other way. Kyrie does a take foul there as the freight train was run away there. 63-61. Inside, Horford flips it out to Jaylen Brown. Misses the 3. Durant the rebound, pushing the other way. They have numbers if they push. Durant from the free throw line, able to knock down the shot. That should get him going there. All he needs to do is just see that ball go through the hoop once, and he's fine. 11 minutes left here in the third quarter, 63 apiece. 9 points now for Kevin Durant. Remember, he started the game 2 of 10 shooting. We'll see what he ends the game with. Tatum, the fadeaway over Durant, gets it to go. Nice shot there. Drummond actually does start the quarter for the Brooklyn Nets. Remember, he has 4 fouls, so they cannot afford to have him pick up another. Kyrie in Boston. Nice defense by Smart. Kyrie, though, rises, no good. Horford the rebound there, and Tatum brings it up. Bryce Brown picked by Horford there. Drummond unable to effect that shot enough, and foul down low. Looks like it's going to go against Brown. Now he has 3. Tice going to the line, knocks down the first. Thank you all for joining us here on Easter Sunday. (66-63), 10 minutes left here in the third quarter. Second free throw is good for Tice. Everybody vacates Kyrie Irving, and they turn it over. I don't know what Brooklyn was doing. Nobody else was within 45 feet of Kyrie Irving, who was standing out of bounds. He had to throw it in to avoid a 2-second call. Smart steals the pass and gets a dunk. Just not smart at all by Brooklyn. Kyrie gets it against Horford. One-man show off the back iron, no good. Drummond unable to get the rebound as Jaylen Brown comes the other way, cut off by Seth Curry. Smart over to Tatum. Durant cuts off the drive. Jaylen Brown foul on Curry. That'll be his third as he tries to stop the drive of Brown. A lot of fouls trouble again for the Brooklyn Nets as they have two important pieces now with three. Brown on the wing. Jaylen Brown spins, cuts through the defense, gives it out to Marcus Smart off the back iron. Horford with the rebound, no. Brown kicks it out to Smart again for a three. This time he does find the bottom. 72-63. All Boston here to start the third quarter. 9-0 run in the last 2 minutes. Timeout by Brooklyn. Largest lead of the game for either team. But as we've seen, as second Boston gets out to any type of lead, Brooklyn comes back. We'll see what happens out of the timeout. And it is now official. Pirates have beaten the Nationals 5-3. Marlins look to shut the door on the Phillies. 11-3 now in the top of the ninth. A lot of these baseball games winding down to their close. Boston looking for revenge after getting knocked out last year in a 4-1 gentleman's sweep to Brooklyn last year. Boston looks to finally pick things up on the offensive end. Finally coming out of the commercial timeout. Kevin Durant has certainly had his struggles in this game. Boston's number one key on defense seems to be to shut him down or at least limit his opportunities. Bumping him literally all over the court. He's got at least one, if not two, hands on him at all times. Brown brings it up, gives to Curry on the wing against Smart. Durant held on to by Tatum. No foul called. Now switched on Horford. Tatum ready to come on the double. Durant, the floater, gets it to go. Nice shot there by Durant. 72-65. Made a couple in a row now. Kyrie cuts off Smart. Horford with it at the top. Drummond with the defense. Brown with it against Brown. Gets inside. Gets it to go. Nice finish by Jaylen Brown. And Kevin Durant will bring it up as he looks to get more involved in the offense. Durant drives right at Tice. Blocked by Jaylen Brown as he screams at the crowd and gets them all fired up. Durant, wow, tough shot. Tatum right in his grill, able to knock it down. Tatum with it against Durant on the wing. Picked by Tice, slip down to Drummond. Drummond able to tap it out, but unfortunately Brown is there. Pitch to Smart. Smart buries the triple. Boston's offense is very good right now. Brooklyn just doesn't have an answer defensively here in the third quarter. Kyrie, the three to answer, no good. Smart the rebound. Tatum races up the floor. Horford. No good. Blocked by Drummond. And Kyrie collects it on the loose ball on the ground. Curry with it. Gives back to Kyrie. Kyrie against Tice. Gets into the lane. The nice floater. Drops. It's still only an 8-point lead. As well as Boston has played to open up this third quarter, Brooklyn is still within reach. And both of the top pieces for Brooklyn are starting to heat up. That's got to worry you if you're the Boston Celtics fan. Tatum to the corner. Smart buries the shot again. He's starting to get hot from three. Brooklyn's going to have to do something about rotating over to him a little bit quicker. You can't leave him open that much. He's got 11 in the quarter so far. Tatum, the wide open three, off the front iron, no good. Tice, the rebound, gives to Brown, defended by Curry. Brown, of course, is going to try to exploit that every time. The fourth foul on Bruce Brown, whistled as he takes down Jaylen Brown. And Bruce is going to go to the sideline. Nick Claxton's going to enter the game, as now both Bruce Brown and Andre Drummond have 4 fouls. Jaylen Brown at the line. The first, up and good. It's now 69-81, Boston in front. Boston starting to get rolling. Claxton does enter the game. Drummond takes a seat. They're going to leave Brown in the game for now. And Kyrie brings it up. Smart with the defense at the top, picked by Curry. They throw it down into Durant. On the wing extended. Across the court to Curry. Drives. In the lane. Off the back iron, no good. Horford the rebound. Tatum pushing the ball up the floor. Curry pestering Tatum. Rip through move. Late whistle and a foul. Originally, I thought the size advantage would go to the Brooklyn Nets, but they haven't used their size in this game. They've left it on the bench so far and have decided to go small with their guards. And so far, it's the size of Boston that's giving trouble to the Brooklyn Nets. 17 points so far for Tatum, as the free throw is good. 14-point advantage now. Now remember all those early season struggles for Brooklyn, all those trials and tribulations that they didn't have Kyrie there to go through with them? Well, now you're seeing some of those issues that they might have been able to iron out in the regular season, showing themselves here in the postseason a little bit. Durant inbounds to Kyrie. and they walk it up the floor. 7-0 run by Boston here in the last minute. Claxton at the top, flips to Durant. Durant stripped away by Tatum, but out of bounds. 10 left on the clock. Just a little under 6 minutes left here in the third quarter. 15-point lead now for Boston. Here comes some more substitutions. Goran Dragic in. He played very well in the first half. Patty Mills is also in. Durant, wide open, nails that shot. That mid-range shot. He's one of the few players in this league that you'll allow to shoot that shot without pulling him immediately. Buries that one. Tatum, tough fall-away shot. Off. The rebound goes off of Horford out of bounds. More substitutions coming in. Grant Williams enters the game. Al Horford takes a seat. Played very well today. Kyrie looking to play the two-man game with Durant. Nope, he decides to just go one-on-one against Marcus Smart. Drives. Tough shot over Smart. They're going to say a foul on Smart as he took an elbow to the face on the shot attempt. Boston can't believe that wasn't an offensive foul. And you can guess what the crowd might be chanting right now at the referees. And he does kind of go straight up, twist that elbow right into the chin of Marcus Smart. Brooklyn looking to steady themselves here in the third quarter. It's where it looks like Kyrie needs about 7 seconds every time he catches the ball when he goes for a free throw, just to kind of clear his head. I'm still wondering why we haven't seen the size come into play for the Brooklyn Nets. I mean, I would just expect them to use the guards and the bigs to just go after him and let the wings of Tatum and Brown be forced to either go small or to cover one of their smalls or one of their bigs. They haven't chosen to do that. Maybe they're waiting to hold that strategy for later in the series. Again, Kyrie just holds the ball for a perpetual length of time. The shot is good. 11-point game. Patty Mills pressuring Marcus Smart up the court as they cross the timeline. Flips to Tice. Turnover. Durant steals the pass there. Durant flips it up to Claxton, who gets it to go. And we're down under single digits. Tatum for three on the pick. Nails the shot. Great way to stem the tide there by Tatum after Brooklyn had gotten a couple of shots to go. Kyrie brings it up. Picked by Claxton, slips it. Grant Williams defending Kyrie. Kyrie does his crossover as another player jabs at him, forces him back. Kyrie now gets to the middle, flips it out to Dragic for three, bounces around and down. Good answer there by the Nets. I think Dragic now has 14 in the game. Tatum spin move on Durant. Gets to the hole. Durant unable to stay in front of Tatum, and he goes right after Dragic. Dragic whistled for the foul. They liked apparently to play Durant at the 4 with this lineup and Claxton at the 5. Jaylen Brown apparently had a nosebleed, got some tissue there to stop the blood. Jason Tatum makes the first, back to a 10-point advantage. The second is good as well. Durant inbounds to Kyrie, who gives to Dragic. Dragic comes up the floor. Tatum now has 24 in the game with 8 assists. He's played extremely well. Grant Williams again fouls Kevin Durant. Durant pressured by Smart. Durant rises and hits. Can't really stop that shot when it's that high. There's just no impeding his vision of the bucket. Tice trying to get a defensive foul on Claxton there. Loose ball. Somehow Brown, with those long arms, able to wrangle it again. Kyrie pressuring. Again, more pressure. Kicks it out to Tice in the corner. No good. Kyrie with the rebound. Durant gets it. Drives inside. Flips inside to Claxton. But there is a foul on Durant's drive. Marcus Smart draws the whistle. Marcus Smart trying to draw the charge. Four fouls now for Smart. 18 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists. Smart has played very well. Claxton inside, double covered. Doesn't get the first one to go. Somehow is able to tap it in with 2 Celtics all over him. And we're back to a 7-point game. Horford shoves Claxton out of the way. Claxton switches on to Tatum. And now we have White against Patty Mills. Gets a little bit of room. No good. Horford, the rebound inside, goes back up and hits the layup. The size of the Boston Celtics has been a problem for the Brooklyn Nets in today's game. 18 points for Horford. Durant down inside to Claxton, whips it around. Kyrie drives. Brown is all over him. Claxton gets it. Gives back to Kyrie. Kyrie shoots. Buries the shot. What a tough shot. Says something to the crowd after I'm sure they said a few things to him. And we're back to a 7-point game. 22 for Kyrie. 5 of 11 from the floor. 4 assists. Tatum pressured by Patty Mills after the switch. Patty Mills still all over him, and a horrible pass there by Tatum and a take foul there out of frustration. That looked like a 2, not a 3. Very intense game so far. Much better as far as the flow to the game here in the second half. After a combined 30 fouls were called in the first. Check in on a few scores from around baseball. Dodgers have claimed the advantage now, 5-0 over the Reds. Maley found some trouble here in the bottom of the fourth. Still only 1 out with Mookie Betts at the plate. 2 on, 1 out. Brewers have extended their lead 6-3. It's now on the top of the 8th. Angels still on top 6-3 with the bases loaded and nobody out. Ohtani at the plate. Rays have extended their lead 8-2 now as we go to the bottom of the 8th there. Cubs in front 6-3 in the top of the 7th over the Rockies. Astros still behind the Mariners 1-0. Urquidy on the mound for the Astros today. Verlander picked up the win last night for the Astros. Marlins did indeed hold on against the Phillies, 111-3. And of course, the nightcap again, Braves and Padres, set to begin here in about 2 hours. 1:58 left in the third quarter. Boston in front, 91-84. In about an hour, we'll have Milwaukee, the defending champs, against the Chicago Bulls. Bulls return to the playoffs for the first time in a few years. And then, of course, the Pelicans will be the nightcap, coming into the playoffs for the first time since Anthony Davis was there. Phoenix, of course, the best team in basketball this year. Every team seems to be afraid of how good they could actually be, but we'll see just how afraid the Pelicans are tonight. Miami destroyed the Atlanta Hawks earlier in the first game of our quadruple header, 115-91. Yesterday, the Jazz beat the Mavericks in Dallas without Luka, 99-93. T-Wolves beat the Grizzlies, 130-117. 76ers beat the Raptors, 131-111. And Golden State took care of business against the Denver Nuggets. Probably the most competitive game so far of the opening round has been Boston versus Brooklyn. Mavericks and Jazz series was highly competitive without Luka in the game. Basketball is back. No bubble this year. No COVID restrictions on Kyrie due to his vaccination status, or any other player for that matter. Durant fouled by Jaylen Brown at the top, and he will go to the line shooting a pair. Brown picks up the foul there. Brown now has 3 fouls in the game. Smart with 4, Tice with 3, Tatum with 3, Williams with 3. Gets the first one to go, 91-85. Edwards comes in along with Brown. Brown does have 4 fouls. I don't understand why they're bringing him in and risking it, but maybe they don't plan on using him much in the fourth quarter anyway. Durant, second shot is good. Kyrie, due to his status, appears to be separated from the team on the bench anyway, because of that vaccination status. He has to stand apart from the team. Kind of funny when you look at it, but Horford blocked by Claxton there. Dragic up the floor quickly. Hands to Edwards, back to Dragic. Dragic slows down and hands to Durant. Claxton coming for the pick. Switch. Tice is on Durant. Durant drives into the key. Stripped by Jaylen Brown. Dragic looked to draw the charge, but turnover anyway. Durant flips to Brown. Block by Jaylen Brown as he raced back the other way. Horford flips to Jaylen Brown. Again, Dragic tries to draw a charge. No whistle there. Durant blocked by Jason Tatum. Wow. 93-85, 20 seconds left here in the third quarter. Boston will hold for the final shot. Claxton on Tatum. Tatum rises for 3. Bottom. Beautiful shot there. Dragic quickly pushes up the floor with 6 seconds left, tries to get into the lane. Tough shot as he fades away, no good. And it's an 11-point lead going into the fourth quarter for Boston. Boston having a fantastic third quarter. Brooklyn still hanging around, though. But a great play there by Tatum, able to cross up Claxton, get him to take a step back as he rocked back and nailed the shot. Just running down the numbers, Tatum with 27 so far, Horford with 18, Smart with 18, Brown with 14. Those are your leading scorers for the Boston Celtics. Grant Williams with 7 off the bench, and again, they played with 8-man rotation. For the Brooklyn Nets, anyway, Durant has 18 on 7 of 19 shooting. Originally started 2 of 10. He's certainly heated up here in the second half. Drummond with 4 fouls in the first half. Didn't collect a second one. He's got 8. Kyrie's got 21 on 5 of 11 shooting. He's been able to draw quite a few fouls today. Curry has 9, and off the bench, Dragic has 14, and Claxton has 9. Foul trouble issues for Brooklyn. You got 3 players with 4 fouls: Seth Curry, Andre Drummond, and Bruce Brown. Everybody else should be fine for the remainder of the game. Celtics have Marcus Smart with 4, Tice with 3, Brown with 3, Tatum with 3, and Williams with 3. Something to keep an eye on. Tatum with 4 turnovers in the game, Smart with 3. And for the Brooklyn side, 5 turnovers today for Kevin Durant, 3 for Kyrie Irving. The bench, though, of the Brooklyn Nets is getting the better of the bench of the Boston Celtics. We'll see if that continues. Maybe they'll try to push that advantage a little bit at the start of the fourth quarter. Durant's already played 32 minutes in the game. Kyrie has 30 minutes in the game already. Dodgers now in front of the Reds 7-0. Andrew Heaney only allowing 1 hit to the Cincinnati Reds. Mariners now up 6-0 on the Astros. Rays still with an 8-2 advantage as they go to the top of the 9th. Cardinals getting a run back in the top of the 8th. Now trail 6-4. Angels have tacked on a couple here in the 8th against the Rangers. They lead 8-3. Looks like we're just back from break. Brooklyn immediately scores there. Back to a 9-point game. Tatum with it, defended by Brown. Curry against White, staying in front. The switch, Tatum gets the smaller defender on him. Claxton quickly comes over for the double. Claxton takes over the defense. Now they double him in the corner. I don't know what that was. Tatum just kind of threw it straight up in the air towards the rim's direction. That wasn't really a shot because he didn't really gather it like a shot. He just kind of overhand threw it towards the rim in the direction of the rim, hoping to make contact. 24-second shot clock violation. Dragic brings it up for Brooklyn. Hands to Kyrie. Goes against White. Kyrie with the crossover. Draws the double, gives to Dragic, over to Curry. Curry drives the lane, gives to Claxton. Dunk. Nice play. 7-point lead for Boston. The bench of Brooklyn again coming through. Seth Curry now has 9 points in the game, 6 assists, as he looks to be a little bit more of a distributor in this game. Tatum gets easily to the rim. Are they going to count that one? Did it hit the backboard before it was blocked? Tatum, as he would for the layup anyway. Nope, they're not going to count it. $97.89. 28 points for Tatum, 4 rebounds, 8 assists. He's been everything today for the Boston Celtics. Claxton inbounds to Kyrie Irving. Jaylen Brown getting some rest here to start the fourth. Kyrie picked by Curry. The switch, Pritchard on him. Kyrie rises for 3, buries it. Ugh, right in the eyeball. Ooh, makes it a 6-point game. Kyrie is locked in. 3 of 6 now from 3, 24 points. Tatum against Brown at the top of the key. Pritchard with the screen. Dragic and Brown double. Curry rotates over. Tatum again drives, but stripped by Kyrie. Kyrie's done that a number of times in this game, has knocked that ball free, has been whistled for a couple of fouls. Shot for 3, drilled. Wow. Drilled right in the face of White, and it's a 3-point game. The bench and Kyrie Irving doing the job for the Nets against the Boston Celtics. Get your popcorn ready. The final 9 minutes of the quarter is going to be fantastic. Shoot, give me overtime in this one. This one's been great. And this is all with Durant on the bench. Just money. Thanks to all 9 of you for watching right now. Appreciate all of you for joining. Tell your friends to watch as well. Join the watch party. Which team you a fan of? Who you cheering for? Or are you just hoping for a good game? That's what we're getting so far. 30 fouls in the first half, letting them play a little bit more here in the second. Looks to be more like actual basketball here in the second half. The defense of Boston just hasn't been there. They have forced a number of turnovers, but the total number of points, they just haven't been able to keep them off the board. Boston looking to probably correct that as they come to the finish line. But as of right now, Brooklyn has all the momentum and have their best player on the bench while they got that momentum back. Looks like we're about to come out of the commercial break here in just a moment. After an early timeout by Boston. Had an 11-point lead to start the quarter. It's quickly gone down to 3. Kyrie now with 27 points in the game. 5 steals and 5 assists. As I mentioned, he's been very active trying to rip balls loose. Tatum has 29 to lead all scorers for the Celtics. Tampa Bay adds another run, lead 9-2 over the White Sox. Cardinals still at the plate, got the bases loaded, 2 outs with Dylan Carlson up. It's now 6-5, Brewers in front. 8-3, Angels over the Rangers. 6-3, Cubs leading the Rockies, and 7-0, Dodgers over the Reds. Mariners added another run. It's now 6-0 over the Astros, as they have chased Urquidy. Bucks and Bulls is the next game. Giannis Antetokounmpo, a finalist for the MVP award this year, but it looks like that's probably going to go to Nikola Jokic of the Denver Nuggets. Marcus Smart brings the ball up against Seth Curry. They get it to Tatum at the top of the key. Brown on the defense. Dragic again switched onto him. Stripped. Oh, they're going to say kicked. Wow. Dragic would have had a layup on the other end. $98-95. No Ben Simmons for Brooklyn yet this season. They get it inside, force the double. Smart one dribble to evade Curry. Nope. Claxton the rebound. Shoved by Williams. No foul called, but Brown brings it up as they wait for Kyrie to set up the offense. Durant still getting some rest on the bench. Curry flips back to Kyrie. Kyrie drives. He's going to get an easy layup here. Nobody there. 1-point game with 9 minutes left. And Durant walks to the scorer's table. Wow. 8-0 run in the last minute and a half. Rip through move on Kyrie there. Kyrie picks up his fourth. Ref isn't buying it. Turnover. Dragic with it. Flips it back behind him. Bad pass there. Brown shoves Brown out of the way. No. They're going to say a loose ball foul on who? A good challenge there by Kyrie. Tatum gets a shoulder into Kyrie. No good in the corner by Williams. Dragic brings it up the floor. Right down Broadway. Flips it up. Off the backboard wildly. No good. Oh, wow. Now we're just seeing a lot of sloppy basketball all over the court. Missed layups and dunks. Durant open for three. Buries it. And they have come all the way back. Oh. Oh, oh, oh. Even with sloppy basketball to try to turn the tide again, Boston unable to get the advantage again. Ball out of bounds. Brooklyn with it. Looks like we're going to have a timeout here. Missed dunk by Horford in that sequence. Just some rough basketball. And then Durant with the pretty basketball on the other end. It's not often he gets a wide open shot anymore. When he does not miss. Remember early on in his career on those young Oklahoma City Thunder teams, Westbrook, Durant, Harden, Ibaka. How competitive those series were with the Mavericks when they were first getting their feet wet in the playoffs. He used to get open shots routinely back then due to poor defense. That and teams weren't keying on him quite as much as they are now. Even then, though, he was still the best player on the court. Nowadays, teams are very cognizant that you do not give him any space at any time, ever. That's why you hardly ever see him get anything even close to an open shot. That's the first one I think I've seen him take the entire game. Brooklyn has surged into the lead. Boston had an 11-point lead coming into the fourth quarter. Just waiting for the commercial break to end here. 198. Brooklyn in front. Hmm. Kevin Durant brings it up here out of the timeout. Flips to Claxton. Hands to Durant. As Smart pressures Durant. Ooh, Tatum almost got that. Looks like they're going to call a kickball there. 7:31 left here in the fourth quarter. Very close game so far. Kyrie having some fun with the fans, pretending to boo-hoo while the fans boo him. Kyrie drives, gets a nice layup at the rim. Does another crying motion to the crowd. He's enjoying playing in Boston. 102 to 98, 31 for Kyrie, 6 assists, 9 of 15 shooting. Claxton guarding Horford at the top, pressuring him pretty hard. Dragic picks up Smart at the top now. Looks like a little bit of a foul there on the. Yep, they do actually call it. Foul on Dragic on the floor on the drive by Smart. Man, Kyrie against Boston is fun to watch. Tatum against Kyrie. Turnover. Tatum, great pressure on Tatum by Kyrie. Bound out to Irving, flips to Durant. Durant misses on the three. Another open shot that he actually missed. I said he never missed. Well, we've seen a blue moon, apparently. Tatum with a wide open dunk here as Brown goes flying by. Durant has words for him. 2-point game. That's the first basket of the fourth quarter now for Boston. Kyrie at the top, defended by Tatum. Crosses him up a little bit. Step back. Blocked by Tatum. Nice play there. Smart drives on Durant. No good. Kyrie with the rebound. Flips over to Durant. Back to Kyrie. Up to Dragic. Dragic in the lane. Flips it up. And no good. But Claxton is there. And the follow. Are they going to call an offensive or defensive foul? I don't know. Yep, they're going to give him the bucket and the foul on Boston. If the foul's on Tatum, that's his fourth. Yep, right on the arm. Less than 6 minutes left here in the fourth quarter. Free throw no good for Claxton. 4-point advantage for Brooklyn. 19-4 run here in the fourth quarter. Brown again gets to the rim. Looks like Bruce Brown is a little bit exhausted at this point. Durant at the top, defended by Horford on the switch. Durant flips it over to Kyrie, who's wide open. I don't know why Smart was halfway across the court away from Kyrie, and Smart is barking at his teammates. I don't know why he's barking. I mean, that was not a smart play. Smart was in no man's land. Looked like he was trying to cheat over to Durant, but Durant saw how wide open Kyrie was and just shifted it over there. Bottom. Kyrie's been the hot hand for the Brooklyn Nets. Why are you cheating over to Kevin Durant? Sorry, Marcus Smart. That one's on you. Another commercial break. 5 minutes, 30 seconds left. 107 to 102. Brooklyn in front of Boston. Stay tuned to us here at the Upside Sports Network. At about 5:30, the Milwaukee takes on the Chicago Bulls. So in about 40 minutes, we'll have another watch party for y'all. All y'all NBA fans who are curious about your team, how they're doing, who they might face in the next round. 2 timeouts left for Boston, 3 for Brooklyn. About 4 minutes left here in the quarter, or 4 minutes and change left in the quarter. 21 points for Irving in the first 3 quarters, 13 already here in the fourth. Again, what are you thinking, Marcus Smart, as he brings it up against Dragic? Tice the pick. Irving picks up Smart. They finally get the ball into Tatum. Durant with the challenge, no good. Rebound, Dragic. Hands to Durant, and Durant will bring it up the floor. Durant with the pick by Brown. Tice on the switch. Now the double. Gives to Brown. Brown drives the lane. Kicks it out. Dragic open for 3. Off the rim. No good. Brown with the rebound. Jaylen Brown anyway for Boston. Claxton on defense. Unable to get that one to go. Brown has been able to get wherever he wants to on the floor, though. Kyrie pushes the advantage. Gets it back from Brown. Back to Brown again. And they'll reset. Gives to Durant at the top. Defended by Tice, shoved. Only the second team foul, though, for Boston, as it gives a shove. Well, I don't know about a shove, but it's called for the whistle. Seth, take off your shirt. Seth Curry didn't take off his warm-up before he entered the game. That was funny. Durant looks exhausted. The referees are laughing at Seth Curry. Kyrie, ball poked away by Marcus Smart. 2 of 12 in the quarter are the Celtics. 5-point advantage for the Nets here. They throw it out to Claxton at the top of the key. Gives to Durant. 9 on the 24 left. Durant switched. Horford there. Durant being guarded closely by Horford, who stuck with him. Tough shot by Durant. Great defense. No good, and Brown with the rebound gives to Marcus Smart. I don't know why they're not giving the ball to Jaylen Brown. He's getting everywhere he wants to on the court. Bruce Brown just does the Olay defense there, works it around. Brown the open three and buries it. 2-point game now. The defense has definitely shifted over towards Jason Tatum. That's giving Jaylen Brown all the room he needs. Kyrie at the top, defended by Jaylen Brown. Brown looking to poke in there. Nope. But they do end up calling a foul, though, as he tried to steer him towards the corner. Gives him a little bit of shove on the hip. Robert Kraft right next to the Boston Celtics bench as he looks on. He knows all too well what it takes to win championships, winning all those Super Bowls, bringing all those championships to Boston. Tatum on Durant at the top. Durant elevates. They're going to call an offensive foul on Kevin Durant. Did he use the off arm? A little bit. That was enough there. They were letting that go the previous few quarters. As I mentioned, they whistled 30 fouls in the first half between the two teams. Derek White with it against Seth Curry. Back to Marcus Smart at the top of the key. Horford sets the pick. Olay defense again. Kyrie Irving almost got a piece of that. In fact, it did look like he got a piece of it, but it still goes down. And we have a tie ball game. Brooklyn was about to lose their third timeout that they had left, and so they'll go ahead and take a timeout here and get some rest for their key players. $34 for Irving, 21 for Durant. 13 off the bench for Claxton, 14 off the bench for Dragic. For the Celtics, 29 for Tatum, 18 for Horford, 20 for Smart, and 21 for Brown. Definitely riding their horses in this game. Looking at some Major League Baseball scores, top of the 8th, the Cubs on top 6-4 over the Rockies. Top of the 9th, Angels 8-3 over the Rangers. Cardinals looking for a comeback here in the top of the 9th, 5-6. They trail the Brewers. Hader on the mound as he gets the first out of the inning. Dodgers still on top, 7-0 over the Reds. Astros are on the board anyway, 6-2, Mariners in front. Looks like we're finally back in Boston. Brooklyn was 0-41 when trailing by 10-plus points when entering the fourth quarter. Looking to finally reverse that streak here in the postseason. Kyrie with it at the top against Tatum. Drives, elevates, money. Tough shot. Both Brown and Tatum almost blocked that shot and had a hand in his face. 36 points for Irving, 15 here in the fourth quarter. Derek White drives. Gets the bucket to go for Boston. Nice bucket. Oh, no. Oh, no. Brown almost got the steal, but the ball landed on his face as he fell to the floor. We'll see how Brown is. It looked like the ball fell on his face. But it's going to be Nick Claxton going to the line here to shoot two. Tied 109-109 in the closing seconds here of the fourth quarter. Looks like that was on the pass. Looked like it was actually out of bounds off Horford. Jaylen Brown again had a nosebleed earlier in the game. That's not going to help things as he takes more cotton up the nose. Poor Jaylen Brown. It looks like he's taking a punch or two. Maybe it was the elbow that caught him up high. The ball didn't really fall on his head. Yeah, he was trying to work his way around Kyrie. He kind of ran into the elbow more than anything else. That's not an offensive foul. Sorry, Boston fans. If anything, that would be a foul on Jaylen Brown just running himself into an elbow. .231 left here in the fourth quarter. Claxton goes to the line, shooting 2. The first short, very, very short. Young player, still getting used to postseason basketball. Played with the Nets last season, but has an even more expanded role this season. The second, long, no good, and we're still tied 109. Marcus Smart rips down the rebound, lets out a yell to the crowd. Claxton is 1 of 5 on free throws in the game, has 8 rebounds, but has played well. But he's probably going to have to come out if this game gets into a free throw shooting contest. Derek White makes a mental mistake and steps on the out of bounds line, turns it over to Brooklyn. 2 minutes left in the game. Yep, he kind of did that on his own volition. Bruce Brown brings it up. Kyrie with it at the top, defended by Jaylen Brown. Kyrie switched. Derek White now defending. Kyrie looking to cross him up. Gets a lane to the basket. Shoots. Off the rim, no good. Rebound by Horford. And they will hold. Let Marcus Smart bring it up and set up the offense. 1:48 left here in the fourth quarter. Smart gets the pick. Durant on the defense. They give it to Tatum. Over to Smart in the wing. Off the back rim, no good. Jaylen Brown elevated really high and slammed down to the ground as he wasn't able to bring that one down. Durant brings it up the floor. Derek White on defense. Knocked away. Durant elevates and somehow gets it to go. 1:19 left. Smart brings the ball up the floor. No timeout here for Boston. Now we have, looks like some blood coming down Jaylen Brown's face as he lost one of his guards there on the drop to the ground. Wow. Playoff basketball, great players do great things in great moments. Durant does the job there after Brown knocks the ball free on impact anyway. And Durant able to get it to rattle home. He is losing a lot of blood out of that nose. .111, 109. Brooklyn in front. Again, he did have a nosebleed earlier in the game. Ran into the elbow of Kyrie on that one. And then the contact there on that play knocked the, I guess we'll call it a bandage, the blockage that they had there to keep the blood from coming out. Durant has 16 points in the second half. Much better in the second half. Struggled in the first half, 2 of 10. It's going to be Kyrie, Curry, Claxton, Durant, and Brown, your 5 for Brooklyn. Smart turns the corner on Kyrie. No good. Horford, though, with the offensive rebound and put back. Now Kyrie to bring it up. 1 minute left here in the fourth quarter. Very loud Boston crowd. Tatum all over Durant, shoving him each way. Crossover dribble by Kyrie and buries a long three. Oh, my. And he gives it to the Boston fans. Wow. You may not like his politics. You may not like what he does off the court. I don't have a dog in the fight. I wasn't necessarily the greatest fan of Kyrie before this season or during the season. But my goodness, what a special player. Just calm, cool, collected the entire game. Just playing unconscious right now. Timeout, Boston. Down by 3, 45 seconds left here in the fourth quarter. $20 for each Tatum, Horford, Smart, and Brown in the game for Boston. 39 points in the game for Kyrie Irving, 23 from Durant. Only Claxton and Dragic in double figures beyond that. What a great game we've been seeing, though. And we're back from commercial break. Boston down by 3. Brown drives on Brown, gets a nice layup again. He's been getting everywhere he wants in this fourth quarter. Boston, for some reason, hasn't realized that and gone to it every time down. Quick bucket there, back down by 1. Durant brings it up. Tatum defending out at half court. Flips to Kyrie. Smart on him. Smart all over Kyrie. The double comes. Beats it. Goes back into the defense. Kyrie dribbles around. Gets it back out to Durant. Durant at the top. Shot clock at 2. Long 3. Unable to go down. Horford with the rebound. And Derek White brings it up the floor. Gives to Jaylen Brown. Gets around Dragic, but Dragic shuts down the corner. They flip it out to Marcus Smart. Looks like a travel there, but no. Tatum gets the bucket at the horn. Wow. A layup for Tatum at the horn. Will it count is the question. Wow. 115, 114. Wow. What a game. They're telling everybody to hold on. They want to see. They're going to review this one. And we have controversy in Boston. I am very curious myself if he got it off in time. They're going to count it, it looks like. And that's the ball game. It originally looked like they were going to get an easy layup with Brown, but no, they flip it out to Smart. 2 people fly at him. They get it to Tatum, and he does get it off just in time. Wow. Breaks Brooklyn's hearts. Great game from Kyrie Irving in Boston, but Boston gets the victory on a late field goal from Jason Tatum, who was shut down in that fourth quarter, but gets the field goal to win it there. Boston takes it, 115-114, the game of the postseason so far. Wow. Absolutely fantastic. Sign me up for 7 games of this. That was awesome. Boston takes game 1 against Brooklyn, holding serve so far on their home court. Wow. Fans cannot believe it still. They're still looking at the court going, wow, can we really believe what we just saw? Tatum goes for 31. No bigger basket than that last one. 8 assists in the game. But overall, a fantastic game. Next up, after this one anyway, Milwaukee Bucks take on the Chicago Bulls on TNT. But tune in to us here at the Upside and stay tuned for all things postseason. We'll keep you up to date on all the stories, how Jaylen Brown recovers. He'll probably be fine after taking an elbow from Kyrie. Kyrie played very well in this game, but just not enough. 1 point shy. And a great basket at the horn by Jason Tatum. And the Boston Celtics take a 1-0 lead in the series over the Brooklyn Nets. An absolutely fantastic finish to this game. No timeout called by Boston. They decided to push the advantage, and they chose to try to go after Goran Dragic with Jaylen Brown. They shut down the corner, though. They flip it out to Smart. Smart had two people fly at him. He split the defense, got it over to Tatum, who laid it in at the buzzer. Fantastic, fantastic job by the Celtics, showing great poise down the stretch, and they take the 1-0 series lead. Stay tuned to us here at the Upside Sports Network, about to set up that live stream for the next game, the Milwaukee Bucks and the Chicago Bulls. Give us a like, give us a follow, subscribe, and we appreciate every single one of you who've joined us here today for a quadruple header of NBA action. But again, Boston digs it out, gets the victory, and takes the 1-0 lead on the 7 seed Brooklyn Nets.